Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to our synchronous class. How's your day?
Good, sir. Hi, sir. Morning, sir.
Morning,
Great,
sir.
great, that's good to hear. So, as you can see in our screen, there are some reminders when you enter this room. First one is kindly mute your microphones. Use the raise hand button and unmute your microphone if you are about to recite or talk. Then after that, type your full name in the chat box for your attendance. Next, during the class discussion, please be prepared for random calls. I will intentionally call someone to talk or to recite so that you will be more attentive in our online class. So please prepare to unmute and mute your microphone. Lastly, report to me if you suddenly experience technical problems. Is it clear to you, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So, again, welcome to our class for today. Before we start the day, let us pray first. Miss Apales, kindly lead the prayer. Is Miss Apales are here? Okay, Mr. Miranda, kindly lead the prayer.
Yes, sir. Our Father in heaven, once again, we thank you for giving us another opportunity to come together as a class and to start another day to learn again. Before we start our online class, we ask for your guidance and wisdom so that we could attend to our classes very well as well as absorb and understand our lessons easier and well. Help us and guide us to attentive to our lessons and help us understand it that we may use it in our current activities and animations. Lord, help our minds to absorb each lesson our teacher teach us and guide every activities they teach us. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Princel. So, class, who among you can recall our last lesson? Anyone in the class? Mr. Argil?
Sir, electrical tools.
And what did you learn?
Sir, I learned the different types of tools and its function.
Very well said, Mr. Argil. Yes, lastly, we tackled about electrical tools, and Mr. Argil is correct. So before we go deeper in our discussion, let's have first an activity. Our activity for today is entitled Electrical Materials Exhibit. I will show pictures of different electrical materials and supplies on the screen, and I will let you observe those pictures. Those pictures. Are you ready, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here are the pictures. I will let you observe for 1 minute. Are you familiar with those materials and supplies?
Yes, sir.
So, where do you commonly see those materials? Mr. JR?
Sir, we can see those materials usually in our house or in any building, sir.
That's right. We can see those materials usually in our house or in any buildings. Okay. So, today we'll talk about electrical materials and supplies. I hope you maintain your interest until the end of our period. Okay, class. Who among you knows something about electrical supplies and materials? Just click the raise hand button if you want to recite for you to be recognized. Mr. Rainiel, you're raising your hand. You
Yes,
can now
sir.
unmute your microphone and recite.
Um, sir, those electrical materials are and supplies are used to control a circuit.
Thank you, Mr. Romasanta. Very well said. Yes, electrical materials and supplies are used to control the flow of a current in an electrical circuit. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And here are the learning objectives that we must attain at the end of our lesson. So first one is identify the different electrical supplies, materials, and their uses. Second, illustrate the different electrical supplies and materials and prepare a checklist. Lastly, value the importance of electrical supplies and materials. Okay. Okay, class. Mm, the main importance of electrical materials and supplies is electrical materials and supplies are important because they protect houses, buildings, appliances, and instruments from any destruction or damage. So class, during our virtual discussion, please avoid unnecessary movements to prevent minor injuries. Always put in your mind that prevention is better than cure, so always put safety first. Did I make myself clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's have another activity which entitled Spot the Difference. So observe what is on the picture. What have you noticed in the picture? Do you think a bulb will light or electricity will be distributed from one place to another without electrical materials and supplies? So, how significant those electrical materials and supplies are? Let's have Christian. What is your idea?
Sir, for me, sir, without the wire, sir, the bulb will not energize, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. Yes, it is true that light bulb will not energize without the electrical wire. As we mentioned earlier, electrical materials and supplies are used to control the flow of in an electrical circuit. Then, if there is no electrical materials and supplies, there will be no electricity that will distributed from one place to another. And remember class, electrical materials such as current carrying wires or conductors are used to transfer the current from source to the load. These electrical material act as a convenient source of electric energy for electrical appliances which requires electricity to work. Did I make myself clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Next is another activity to test your analyzing skills. The title of our activity is List Me Up. So I will flash a situation on the screen and you will analyze the situation and make a list of electrical supplies and materials that are needed in the situation. Are you ready, class?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So the situation is Kuya Romy is a popular electrician in Bimali, Pangasinan. He will install an outlet and switches in one of his client's house. What do you think are the materials that he needs to use? So I will give you 2 minutes to list down the electrical materials and supplies in the situation. Okay, timer starts now. Are you done, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's have Mr. Renier. Kindly read the electrical materials and supplies needed in the situation that you list down.
Yes, sir.
plates, wires, switches,
Okay.
convenience outlets,
Okay.
uh, ano pa? Receptacle, sir.
Okay. Okay, very good. Those electrical materials and supplies listed by Mr. Rainiel are correct. Give him a virtual clap. Next, let's have a breakout session to test your cooperation and collaborative skills with one another. So I will group you into four, and each group will be given an electrical material or supply. Each group is given around 2 minutes to brainstorm their ideas about the uses, functions, and importance of the materials or supply. The groupings are flashed on the screen. Can you see it, class?
Yes, sir.
So for group 1, the assigned material for you is flat cord. For group 2 is electrical wires. For group 3, junction box and utility box. And lastly, for group 4 is circuit breaker. So member number 1 will be the timekeeper. Member number 2 will be the reader of the questions. Member number 3 will be the scribe. And member number 4 will be the reporter of their answers. Okay. So here are the guided questions. What is the uses and functions of the materials assigned to you? Second, how significant these electrical materials or supply? Why it is important to understand its function and uses. Okay. Timer starts now. You can open your mic to talk with each other.
Extension.
You only have 1 minute left.
Circuit breaker.
Hmm. Are you done, class?
Flat cord.
Okay, time's up. Okay, for group 1, kindly discuss the electrical material or supply assigned to you. And the representative for group 1 is Mr. Kindly unmute your microphone and recite. Mr. JR.
Yes, sir. Uh, our materials is flat cord, sir.
Okay. Then, what is the
So,
uses?
sir, we think we use these materials in extension cord, sir.
And then, how significant this electrical material?
Without these materials, sir, wala pong magproproduce ng electricity, sir.
Okay, the current will not flow if there is no flat cord. And why is it important to understand the function of the flat cord?
Sir, this is important for us to be aware for our safety, sir.
Okay, thank you, Group 1. So, let's proceed to Group 2. Who is the representative for Group 2?
Me, sir.
Mr. Christian, proceed.
Again, sir, again.
Uh, what is your assigned material?
Electrical wire, sir.
And what is the uses of electrical wires?
Sir, electrical wire, sir, is just like flat cord, sir. It is used for making circuits, sir.
Then,
Making specific electrical circuit.
okay, thank you. And how significant this electrical material?
It is significant, sir, especially to the electrician just like us, sir.
Then, why it is important to understand? its function and uses?
Sir, as an electrical major, sir, is it important to understand its function and uses because it's help us for our own safe for our own knowledge, sir, and skills, sir.
Okay, thank you, Group 2. Let's proceed to Group 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tirao. What is
Utility
your,
box and junction box, sir.
okay, discuss your material.
Sir, the use of junction box is serve as a house of a connection of all wiring, sir.
And then,
So,
next, how significant this electrical material?
sir, kung wala po itong kung wala po itong junction box or utility box, sir, hindi po magiging um, maayos yung mga linya po ng wiring, and then also is the uh, sa mga switches po, sir. Hindi po siya
Okay.
magiging maayos.
Last question. Why it is important to understand its function and uses?
Sir, ano po na we can also use this, sir, for us when we kapag tumanda na po kami, is pwede po namin i-apply ito kung ano ang mga kailangan naming bilhin or naangkop na bilhin upang gamitin. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Group 3, last group. Group 4, who's the representative?
Sir, Ringel po, sir.
Yes, Riniel, proceed.
Um, yung sa amin, sir, is circuit breaker. And ang use ng circuit breaker is to protect the circuit if something bad happens to like sa bulbs kung pumutok, yung circuit breaker po yung unang tatamaan.
Okay.
And the significant of this electrical material is sabi ko nga kanina, sir, na pag may nangyaring parang faulty wirings, siya po yung unang masisira. Hindi po madadama yung ibang devices. And it
Okay.
is important to understand its functions and uses because pagka kunwari papagawa po kami ng bahay, yun po yung pinaka-importanting dapat meron tayo dahil for our safety na rin. Yun po, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Reniel. Very good class. You are now more familiar with different electrical materials and supplies as well as their uses and importance. Give yourself a virtual heart. Okay, next. Okay, let's proceed to our discussion of different electrical materials and supplies. First one, kindly read convenience outlet. Mr. Raymond.
Convenience outlet. A receptacle in a wall or baseboard for connection to lamps or other electrical appliances.
Okay, convenience outlet. A receptacle in a wall or baseboard for connection to lamps or other electrical appliances. So it is an electrical material that acts as convenient source of electrical energy for current consuming appliances. It is where the male plug of an appliances is inserted and usually fastened on the wall or connected in an extension cord. Is it clear, class? Are you with me, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let's proceed. Next one is male plug. Kindly read, Mr. Joshua.
Male plug. is a connector attached to a wire, cable, or piece of hardware having one or more exposed, unshielded electrical terminals and constructed in such a way that it can be inserted snugly into a receptacle or female connector to ensure a reliable physical and electrical connection.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Joshua. So, male plug has 2 or 3 pins that is inserted in a socket to make an electrical connection. Uh, it is inserted to an inconvenience outlet to conduct electrical current. So, if flat cord is attached to it on one end and the other end is connected to a current consuming instrument or appliances. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So, in Tagalog, it is yung sinasaksak. And the convenience outlet is, in Tagalog, it is the saksakan. Did you get it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Okay, next. Next is lamp holder. Kindly read, Princel.
Lamp holder is a device for holding a light bulb or lamp.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Princel. It is an electrical material which mechanically supports and provide electrical connections for a compatible electrical lamp. Sockets allow lamps to be safely and conveniently replaced or simply what we call relamping. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, listen carefully. I will ask you questions later. Okay, next. Next is switch. Kindly read, Mr. Argil.
Switch used to make or break a connection in a circuit so you can turn power on and off to something.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Argil. So, electrical switches are used to perform all the electrical functions. So, from a fan to bulb, every electrical equipment we use in our day-to-day life is useless without a switch. It is simply designed to break or make the flow of connectivity in the electronic circuit automatically or manually. Do you understand, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes,
let's
sir.
proceed. Let's proceed to next one is fuse. Fuse is an electrical safety device consisting of or including a wire or strip of fusible metal. Mr. Raymond, do you want something to tell? Okay,
None, sir, none.
please mute your microphone. Okay, back to our topic. Fuse is an electrical safety device consisting of or including a wire or strip of fusible metal that melts and interrupts the circuit when the current exceeds a particular amperage. So, in electronics and electrical courses, a fuse is an electrical safety device that operates to provide overcurrent protection of an electrical circuit. Its essential component is a metal wire or strip that melts when too much current flow throughout throughout it, thereby stopping or interrupting the current. It is a sacrificial device. Once a fuse has operated, it is an open circuit and must be replaced or rewired depending on its type. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Next is circuit breaker. Kindly read, Mr. J.R.
An electrical switch is designed to protect an electrical circuit from damage caused by overcurrent, overload, or short circuit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. J. Art. Its basic function is to interrupt current flow after protective relays detect a fault. In its simplest form, a circuit breaker is an automatic circuit protection system. In doing so, it can prevent damage to an electrical circuit and possibly appliances, electronics, and your home. Electrical overloads can generate high amount of heat, potentially triggered spark, burns, electrocutions, and fires. When a circuit breaker trips, it may mean electrical repairs are needed. Some reasons a circuit breaker can trip include too much current is flowing through the circuit. Second, hot and neutral wires have fused together due to an overheated melted component. And lastly, a power line has ruptured perhaps by driving a nail in the wall. So, are you with me, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
let's
sir.
proceed. Let's proceed to junction box. Kindly read, Mr. Raymond. Yes, Mr. Raymond.
Junction box, an electrical enclosure that houses one or more wiring connections.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raymond. The box protects the connections, which usually contains vulnerable points such as wire splice from environmental conditions and accidental contact. When a junction box is used for every electrical connection in a building, it is much easier to locate and repair any electrical problems that come up. When some connections are made without junction box, such as inside wall cavities or in the hidden ceiling or attic location, the likelihood of future problems increases. Every electrical connection should be inside a protective box or what we call the junction box that is easy to find and access. So, do you understand, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes,
next.
Sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, kindly read Miss Kimberly.
Utility box. An electrical box, and it would be composed of switches, electrical sockets, and also fixtures.
Okay, thank you, Kimberly. A utility box can also be called an electrical box, and it would be composed of switches, electrical sockets, and also fixtures. The major difference between a junction box and a utility box is that the junction box would house the electrical connections, while the utility box are used to install switches, fixtures, and etc. Okay, next. Next we have flat cord. Kindly read. Mm,
Sir.
Mr. Christian.
Flat cord is a duplex stranded wire used for temporary wire installation and commonly used in an extension cord assembly.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Christian. So, a flat cord is a cable made of round or rectangular, parallel copper wires arranged in a plane and laminated or molded into a ribbon of flexible insulating plastic. So, flat cord allow for compact designs for electrical conductors and tubings, encasing power, signal, video, data, and even pneumatic tubing in one flat profile. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. Next material would be electrical wire or conductor. Can you read, Mr. Hargil?
Electrical wire conductor is a flexible metallic conductor, especially one made of copper, usually insulated and used to carry electric current in a circuit.
Thank you, Mr. Argil. So, electrical wire or conductor is a type of conductor which is a material that conducts electricity. In the case of household wiring, the conductor itself is usually copper or aluminum. and is either a solid metal conductor or a stranded wire. So the electrical wires ensure that the electrical circuit in residential and commercial properties is not overheated and there is no underlying risk factor of fire. So there are two types of electrical wire. This is stranded wire and solid wire. So in stranded wire, it is made up of multiple strands joined together to make a single wire. And while solid wire is made up of single strand of copper or aluminum wire, so these are used in wiring installation inside and outside the building. Is that clear, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. Next is conduit. Can you read? Anyone from the class? Yes, Benry?
Conduit. Electrical materials used as a passage of wires for protection and insulation.
Okay, thank you, Benry. An electrical conduit is a tube used to protect and route electrical wiring in a building or structure. It is designed to enclose and protect conductors or cables from moisture and physical damage. So, electrical conduit may be made of metal or what we can see in the picture, plastic, fiber, or fire clay. Most conduit is rigid, but flexible conduit is used for some purposes. Okay, last two, clamps. Kindly read, Joshua.
Clamps. Electrical materials used to hold and anchor electrical conduits in its proper position.
Okay, thank you, Joshua. So, clamp is often referred to as conduit clamps. They are used as an efficient and tidy way to restrain, secure, and guide tubings or conduit for a range of plumbing, heating, and electrical purposes. Did you get it, class?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
So next, lastly is connectors. Kindly read, Mr. J. Art.
Connectors used to attach metallic or non-metallic conduit to the junction or utility boxes.
So it is simply used to connect. So from the word connectors. So it is used to, okay, used to connect conduits conduits to a junction box or utility box. Did you get it, class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Hmm. So let's have an activity. It is entitled prepare a checklist. So here is the instruction. You will make or prepare a checklist of materials and supplies that will be needed based on the pictures that I will flash on the screen. Do you understand, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start. I will give you 2 minutes to prepare your checklist. So that's the figure 1 and figure 2. The timer starts now. Okay, last 1 minute. Are you done, class?
Yes, sir.
So from the figure 1, what are the electrical material and supplies that are needed? Kindly read your checklist, Mr. Reniel.
Yes, sir. First is the circuit breaker, conduit, utility box, junction box, lamp, receptacle, and wires, and clamps, then connectors. Yun,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, Mr. Rainiel. Very good. Next, from the figure 2, what are the materials needed? So please read your prepared checklist, Mr. Christian.
For the figure 2, sir, we have male plug, a socket, and a flat cord, sir.
Okay, thank you. Christian, please give them a virtual clap. So, do you understand our lesson for today?
Yes, sir.
Is there
Yes, sir.
any questions, clarifications, or violent reactions?
None,
None,
sir.
sir.
Okay, then I will be the one to give you questions. So, first one, why are electrical supplies and materials important? Let's have Christian.
Sir, because they can be used to control the current flow in an electric circuit, sir.
Very good, Christian. Electrical materials and supplies are important because they are the one we use to control the flow of current in an electrical circuit. Next question. Why is it important that you can identify and know the uses of every electrical supplies and materials? Let's have Mr. Rainiel.
Yes, sir. It is important so that we are aware of the materials that we are needed in doing electrical installation.
Okay, next one. What is the most significant electrical supply or material for you and why? Let's have Mr. Argil.
The most significant electrical materials for me, sir, is the circuit breaker because when there is a faulty wiring, it will automatically cut off the flow of current in a circuit.
Very good, Mr. Argil. Next question. Kindly read and answer Mr. J. Art.
Give one electrical supply or materials and give its uses or function. Conduit, sir. It is used as passage or wires for protecting and insulation.
Very good, J. Art. Lastly, how is safety being implied if we understand the uses and functions of electrical supplies and materials? Yes, Miss Kimberly.
Sir, safety is being implied if we are aware and familiar with those materials and supplies, sir.
Very good, Kimberly. So, okay, class, we will be having a short quiz. So, I posted the short quiz at exactly 11:45 a.m. and it closes at exactly 12:30 p.m. Please make sure that you have a strong internet connection to take the quiz. So, for test 1, 1 to 5, it is identification, and for test 2, 6 to 10, it is matching type. Okay, in a few minutes, the quiz will be uploaded. Just wait for it. Good luck and God bless. Please open your cam while taking the quiz. May I see your beautiful faces? Oh, you look stressed, Mr. Raymond. Okay, so are you done, class?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
we're done.
How's
Yes,
the
sir.
feeling on taking the quiz?
A little bit nervous, sir.
So click the heart button if the quiz is easy for you and like button if it is not. May I see it if it is heart? Oh, like. So some of you took the quiz hard. So some are so it is good to know that some of you took the quiz like a piece of cake. So next. So as you can see in our screen is the heart and like button. So click the heart button if you think that we achieved the lesson objectives and like button if not. So first one, identify the different electrical supplies and materials and their uses. Is it a heart or a light? Okay, next, illustrate the different electrical supplies or materials and prepare a checklist. Is it a heart or a like button? Lastly, value the importance of electrical supplies and materials. Is it a heart or a like? So I'm happy that we achieved the lesson's objective for today's discussion. So for your assignment, research about the different electrical measuring tools and equipment to be placed on a Word document. So I will be uploading the assignment later where you can attach your file, and please be reminded about the rubrics flash on the screen and the format I have given to you in passing a Word document. Is it clearer than your relationship with your partners or crushes, class? Especially Mr. Raymond.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Just
sure.
kidding.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
questions before we end this meeting?
None, sir.
None, sir.
None, sir.
Then let's call it a day. Goodbye, class.
Bye, sir.
Bye,
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 thank you,
sir.
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 Okay, you can now leave the
Bye, sir.
platform.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Mr. Fernandez.